Hey all, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to continue our look at the Studio Series 86 Constructicons by way of the Commander class offering of Long Haul and Hook. However, we're going to do this a little bit different than we normally do Commander class offerings and multi-packs. I think it's really important that each Constructicon get the opportunity to have their time to shine and have their proper comparison with their Combiner Wars counterpart. Certainly, the Combiner Wars counterpart with the Perfect Effect upgrade kit. That being said, what we're going to do here in part 1 is take a look at Long Haul as well as the trailer section that comes with him that are basically Devastator pants. And then in a part 2, a separate part 2, we will look at Hook. I am not going to be putting Devastator together in this review or the next because we only have 4 pieces yet. What we'll do is give each Constructicon time to shine, and then in one final video we will put them all together as Devastator and compare Devastator to Devastator. How good is this set? Well, we're going to get the first half of the score for this set via Long Haul in the latest GotBot True review. Hey all, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, please like, comment, share, of course subscribe. While you are at it, light 'em up, baby. Hit that notification bell, please. Helps me out a ton, lets you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, all the groups that I'm either a mod or an admin for, as well as all of my social media links. All of that's in the description down below, also in the description down below. And if you happen to be in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon, see what we have to offer to you through spring, or of course hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. And this is the guy we will be focusing on, Long Haul. We will compare him to the Combiner Wars, the stock Combiner Wars. Then I'll add the Perfect Effect upgrade arms to Long Haul, which they do make him closer to his Unite Warriors counterpart, but not the same thing, but a lot closer. We will also look at the trailer, that's the Devastator pants with this guy, and we'll give this a score. How good is this Long Haul? How improved over the Combiner Wars is he? By the way, I'll say it now, spoiler, this is definitely improved over the Combiner Wars. But how much? We're going to find out when we head over to the table and take a closer look at this lad. And so yesterday we continue on with the Studio Series 86 Constructicons courtesy of our buddy Daryl. Now, I get that this is the Commander Class 2-pack, and I can say right now that the mass of this entire pack comes in somewhere around 650, 660 grams if I'm not mistaken. This set, with all of the pieces in it, both Hook and Long Haul, as well as the extra chunk, makes this absolutely a Commander class value. Yes, that's an accurate pricing price point for this, no doubt. I wanted to get that out of the way right away, because we're going to do this one a little bit different. This is going to be part 1. I think that it's only fair and only right that each Constructicon gets their own time to shine in comparison to the Combiner Wars versions with the Perfect Effect upgrade kits. Since I already did Scrapper and Bone Crusher, it only seems right to give each of these guys their own fair shake as well. I do have a couple of little caveat updates that were brought to my attention after the Scrapper and Bone Crusher reviews. That said, this is the box. You can see both Long Haul and Hook on the outside. It still says 3 of 5 up here. I've pretty much determined that the difference between saying like 1 of 5 or 3 of 5 and like 2 of 6 or whatever is because there are 6 Constructicons, but there's only 5 releases because of this pack being a 2-pack. They look fine on the front. On the side, we have that Devastator image that we've seen before. On this side, again, we can see both of them in their vehicle. We can see both of, it's hard to avoid the glare, I'm sorry. We can see both of them in their vehicle modes, and on the back, yes indeed, you can see, again, both guys in their alt modes and everything else. Before we get into what's in the box and whatnot, I just wanted to note here with Scrapper that yes, indeed, you can put all of the bits and pieces on him for different blasters. So when I did the review, I mentioned how you could kind of slot this in along the back over here in one of the little rectangular pegs, but that if you had the two Devastator blaster pieces on, you really couldn't store his, or if you could, I wasn't sure where. Well, as was pointed out to me, you can always put this barrel over on this side. You can always put the handle, grip, I suppose, right here. But you can take Scrapper's own blaster and also put it here. I'll also note now, though I'm not going to show it, apparently, just like with Combiner Wars, you can also take the two like chest wings of Devastator, and you can also peg them on here, which gives him like this weird super mode type of thing he's supposed to have. Apparently G1 could do it, I know Combiner Wars could do it, and apparently this can do it as well if you really want like silly weird chest wings on the guy. But yes, you can store all of his blasters on him at once. As well, we gotta talk for a second about old Bone Crusher here. So, apparently, this is misassembled on most of them, all of them, I don't know. And some guy, I don't know his name, I'm sorry, he was pointing out how like the whole armature section didn't sit flush on the back. Now, I'm looking at Daryl's here, and that looks about as flush against the back as I could possibly imagine it being. So, I guess if you wanted to pop this pin maybe, I really don't know how to go about fixing it. I don't see the issue. I'm not gonna lie. Everybody's like, it's the thing, it's not, and I don't see it. I don't know. If somebody didn't tell me that this was a misassembly, I wouldn't know it. And even now, I don't see what the issue is. I really don't. But if you do and you had to change it, cool. Apparently Daryl's is mistransformed. Some people say that that affects the way the head locks in or something. Now Daryl's head is pretty solid with friction, because people were saying that in arm mode the head like flapped out or something. I don't know how loose your head is, but like Daryl's doesn't do that. The other thing, and I didn't know this because I didn't have instructions for it, when I did the arm mode, it's worth noting that that little piece can come out from inside the leg, and you can fold up the foot and basically it all goes together like that, and it's supposed to be more solid in arm mode. So make of that what you will, but I wanted to point both of those little caveats out for, you know, for whatever they are. I will note right now, and I'll probably say this again a couple of times through, I'm not going to be doing the Devastator combined mode in this video because we only have 4 of the members yet. Once all 6 come, I will do all of Devastator's transformation then. Inside the box we have 2 sets of instructions for Hook and Long Haul over here, and then a gigantic one for Devastator himself. No, I don't have them folded out. We will not be using the Devastator ones right now. We're going to let Long Haul today have his time to shine individually. Then in the next review, we will let Hook have his time to shine individually. Once we have Mixmaster in hand, as well as Scavenger, I mean. Once we have them all in hand, then we'll put him together proper and compare him to the Combiner Wars Devastator proper. So this will be focusing only on the bots themselves. Though, admittedly, with Long Haul, I will show I'd say like the hips and thighs of Devastator and how his whole trailer piece does transform. And on top we have the Perfect Effect blaster that goes with Long Haul, and on the bottom we have the official 86 one. 86 is certainly smaller, but I think they're both a good approximation for what they are. And here we have the constructicons that we have so far, being, of course, Scrapper, Bone Crusher, and Long Haul. And of course, Long Haul is hauling something long. Makes sense, right? And of course, here we have Long Haul in his glory by himself. He rolls well. I like that the trailer actually has a hook, so it can actually turn a little bit. I mean, it's not a huge ability to turn, but it does seem more natural for it to be able to, you know, rotate around and whatnot. It's very strange that we have this add-on section here, but like, I'm not hateful of it because it does work like an actual trailer. And I mean, you could believe that there's machinery or cables or you know, construction cones or whatever inside this thing, right? Like you could buy that this dump truck is towing, you know, a trailer behind it that has like useful construction-y stuff with it, right? The way that it connects, there's just a purple hook basically that has two circles on either side, and it sandwiches in between the legs and you just squeeze it. It holds all right. It's not bad once you get it in there. Now, I'm going to take all of this and I'm going to just lay it aside until kind of after. I'm going to also back him up a little bit because we do have to bring in, this is going to have to go bigger. Give me a moment. This should give us the space we need. So front to front, I mean, obviously the Combiner Wars one is tons bigger. The Combiner Wars one was touted as a Voyager. This is also touted as a Voyager. I'm not going to do my usual mass comparison because you got to remember that with the long haul Voyager, technically, all of this is also attributed to long haul. And I'm telling you now, both him and this is quite dense. So I have no doubt that it's probably more like a leader class, maybe even more than leader class, but certainly leader class, maybe, yeah, about that. It's going to be that much mass because of how dense it is. So I'm not going to do the usual comparison. Size-wise, I mean, yeah, people would say, well, the Combiner Wars one is bigger. Indeed, it is. But the Combiner Wars one also doesn't have, you know, a separate trailer. So, I mean, it is what it is, right? I think I was supposed to fold these feet in and I forgot. My mistake. Is that right? Yeah, I was too, because by rights, I'll show this now too, though I didn't have it done. The gap back here is where you're supposed to slot in the Perfect Effect hands, arms, forearms, and I don't have that done. Maybe it's this one that's supposed to go on this side. I can't even remember now because it's been a while, right? Yeah, it's supposed to go on like that, right? So, I mean, my bad. I didn't do it quite right. But you can get enough of an idea to know that, you know, they're both dump trucks, no doubt about it. I like the look of this one better. I'll say that right now. I don't think that's a surprise to anyone. So I'm going to wheel this guy out of it. For now, we'll see him in robot mode in just a little bit. But let's kind of go into our boy here. And again, I'm going to take that off. I like the look of this. I'm going to go in closer so we can take a quick look at the truck before we start to do the transformation. Okay, that's a little better. Granted, he doesn't have much of a bed, but I don't think he needs it. Honestly, you know that this is supposed to be a dump truck. I'm cool with this being filled in up here. It doesn't really bother me at all. He rolls great. I love these tires, by the way. I wish the Combiner Wars one was like that. It's not, but such is life. And I guess that's it really for the truck mode. I mean, the back is the back. It is what it is, right? Let's do, I guess, the transformation. So, we should be able to begin, if I'm right, with, yeah, flipping these down and splitting them. Then this flips back, and we can also take up an arm and bring it out to the side, and we can unpeg an arm and bring the whole thing out to the side. Then we should be able to fold the body down, and that brings the head up. By the by, I know I'm sticking this in and it's not quite right. I did kind of gloss over something during the transformation because when I pulled the chest piece down, like the head kind of popped up, but by rights you're supposed to actually open the chest to both put the head back in and take the head out. So like if I was going back to truck mode, I would, you know, open it, put the head, you know, like that, and close it up. Just thought I'd mention it since I did gloss over it. My bad. Back to our regularly scheduled review. And we should be able to fold the entire back down and fold that up over, and it all tabs in. I love the way that they do this part. The legs are split. Also, you heard me snap these into place. We'll talk about snapping the upper legs into place in a minute. We can bring down an arm and bring down an arm. And rotate it in and rotate it in for now. And then, ooh, see if I can remember this. We turn it. Gosh, hold on. Yeah, there you go. We bring it up and we snap it in. That's what it was. So We have a little tab here, and we should be able to bring that up and snap it in and then straighten it out. Then we can fold out a hand. Straighten out the arm, fold out a hand. Snap that in. And boom, in the end here we have Long Haul in his robot mode. I'm going to stand him up, reorient the camera, and we'll see him side by side with the Combiner Wars version. And I'm just going to say it now. Hands down, bar none, the 86 is infinitely better. But is the 86 infinitely better than the Long Haul that came with Unite Warriors, or if we add the Perfect Effect upgrade arms? So the Perfect Effect upgrade arms are not absolutely perfect, but they do certainly fill the bill. And they simply snap into the hands and go over like that. And same over here, snaps into the hands and goes over like that. You can also take the blaster, just as you do with this blaster, and put it in the hand, no problem. Now, what does that add? Because it's worth noting. This Long Haul, the Combiner Wars, has a head that goes left and right, and in case you didn't know, it can look down a little bit and not really up. He does have a waist because of Devastator. He also has, because of Devastator, hips all the way out to the side. Heavy ratchets, by the way. He can kick forward and back. He does have a knee, as wonky and weird as it looks. And he does have ankle tilt. The stock arms on the Combiner Wars just have this weird outward motion of the arm. But when you put the Perfect Effect set on, you get an elbow and you get a wrist rotation. Very much worth noting. I will also note that in terms of T-posing, this guy by rights can only go out that far. You would have to use the weird sideways elbow to get him to T-pose out further, and that just looks ridiculous. So it certainly adds to this guy. So we're going to take him out of it. I love the bulk, I love the size, hate the proportions. So we're going to take him out of it, and we're going to focus on this lad. First things first, the transformation to get here, easily a 10. It's very easy. You saw me kind of fiddle just for a moment with the arms, but that's only because I forgot that I had to push them back to tab it in. Other than that, no issues at all with the transformation of this guy. So a 10 is a great start. In terms of the look, well, how about I bring this in a little closer so we can kind of assess that better. Okay, so from the feet, working our way up, the first color we get is the two purple dots and the red that's on the thigh, I guess we'll call it. We have the Decepticon logo that should be on the tummy, but it's up here on the chest. I'm okay with it up on the chest, even if it's supposed to be on the tummy. This is accurate, this is accurate. The head is accurate. The arms being all black, that's accurate as well. So much so, well, I'll talk about the articulation in a minute. So much so that we don't have any other color there, nor should we. We do have the green as the top part of the blaster, but the whole thing should be black. But like, to me, that's a minor gripe, man. Also in vehicle mode, all of this was pretty much where it should be, because here's the funny thing. In vehicle mode, there is a Decepticon logo right there. In robot mode, for whatever reason, that logo moves down to his tummy. I think they made the right call putting it on the chest and leaving it there for vehicle mode, because it still stands prominently in this mode. I'm going to say 9.9 for the look. Honestly, easy a 9.9. So we have a 10 and a 9.9. Like, this is an excellent Long Haul so far. Let's get to the articulation next. The head. It could go left and right, little up, little down. So the head is comparable to the Combiner Wars. The arms go all the way around. Combiner Wars go all the way around. These arms can T-pose all the way out to the side, unlike the Combiner Wars. Because of a ball peg here, we get an elbow to slightly over 90 degrees. Either you would need the Unite Warriors or you would need the Perfect Effect kit in order to have an elbow this deep on the Combiner Wars. No wrist rotation on this guy. That's a bit of a bummer. Bicep swivel. Again, I mean, you don't really have that with the Combiner Wars. Does this guy have a waist? No waist that I can discern. Something that the Combiner Wars has that this guy doesn't have. Kick forward all the way is great. Kick back all the way is great. Thigh swivel is great. Ankle tilt is great. All of that's comparable to the Combiner Wars as well. Then we get to something that I wanted to touch on, the knee. if you keep the upper leg tabbed in as it says to do, your knee is this much, not quite 90 degrees. Personally, I would untab it, and I'll untab it here too. Like, you can bring them up, and it still keeps the silhouette. He still stands like a champion. They're not tabbed in now, but when I bend the knee, now I get a super duper deep knee bend. Yeah, okay, maybe your thigh is now smaller, but I think that it still looks proportional. Like, I think the trade-off to have a super duper deep knee is absolutely worth it. 100% worth it. I'm going to say that long hauls, articulation, I mean, a waist would be nice. Wrist would be nice. Other than that, everything is there. I'm going to say 9. So we had a 9, a 9.9, and a 10. I mean, this guy's easily a 9.75 at least, maybe a 9.8. It's an excellent long haul with only a couple of little quibbling gripes. That's really, really not worth mentioning as far as I'm concerned. If you're happy with this guy, I'm happy for you because I think he's great. As for the blaster, if you don't want it in his hand, I don't know if there's an official spot for it, but let's just see if we could fit it in here behind his head or something. I'm just curious now. I'm sure there is a spot for it, and I'm sure people are like yelling at the camera being like, GotBot! I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I didn't look at the instructions for this. I just figured it out. I guess the instructions are good, but to me, it's a testament to how good this guy is that I didn't need the instructions, I just did it. Speaking of this guy, we're not done with him just yet because we do have to do this. Okay, so this is the trailer that I was talking about. We can remove the chest pieces. They go on over this rectangular slot there, tab there, I'm sorry, there's a little rectangular slot there. So that's how they go on the sides. Cool. We'll see them later on. Also, these are Devastator's hands. It's just a peg. And then, just like Combiner Wars, they just fold out. And I guess they're like missile pods or whatever, right? Again, I think that's a really effective way to deal with the extra kibbly bits. And down here is the center of Devastator's chest. Literally exactly like the Combiner Wars. We would put a piece in there, and we would put a piece in there, and we have the chest piece. Exactly like what you do with the Combiner Wars chest. And that's not a bad thing, by the way. That's not a gripe or a complaint. I'm just noting that if you're familiar with that, you'll be familiar with this. And I guess it makes sense, since the designer of this is the same guy that designed the Combiner Wars. So he obviously learned over time. Okay, so we're going to begin with picking all of that back and up. Then we should be able to straighten this up and bring this down and bring this in. I think that's the way that's all supposed to go right now. I think. And if I'm wrong, I apologize. But I think that's the way that's supposed to go right now. Then we come here and we should be able to pick up a hip skirt and a hip skirt. Angle down Devastator's hips and bring the hip skirts down. And I think flip up this and flip up this. I think this is it. This might have to go flipped up like another way, but like I'm going to leave it like this for now because I haven't really looked at the instructions. Again, somebody who has put this together might say, hey, GotBot, you did something wrong back here. That's fine. When we actually do this full on official, we'll worry about it then. But basically, this is the hips and the thighs of Devastator. It's not hard to do, even if I got it done slightly incorrect here. Like, it'll be easy to fix when the time comes. Trust me. And of course, long haul would go on here and hook will go on top of him. We'll see that when the time comes. But, you know, for the hips and thighs and for the guy and for the fists and for the chest, this is already a great value. And we're like not even close to being done because we still have hook. But so far, the score for this set stands at about a 9.8. That's, let's say 9.85. That's a really, really strong start. Let's see if the other half lives up to this same hype when we look at it in the next review. By the way, if you were waiting to see all of the bots that we have together, just like I showed all of the vehicles together at the beginning. Stay tuned for the next video and we'll see that then, as well as a comparison with the Combiner Wars counterparts in robot mode at that time. But yeah, this is a great long haul, great start. And here we are, and here he is. So, the trailer piece, there's not much to say. I think it's actually a pretty functional trailer. It's nice, it's blocky. Like I said in the review, I think that you could use it for, you know, it's carrying other construction equipment and stuff, right? I like the fact that it actually has a hook and that it can actually turn and stuff like a real trailer would instead of just being one long piece. Then we get to this guy. Yes, certainly smaller and less bulk than the Combiner Wars, but again, you got to consider the trailer is technically part of this guy, right? As a bot, his proportions are infinitely better than the Combiner Wars. As a look of the character, infinitely better with, in robot mode, the only imperfection, if you can call it that, is the placement of the Decepticon logo. And I really don't count that. Love the tires, like them pinned, like them with the silver or the gray or whatever in there. I still think, like for me, I prefer this as my knee, a nice deep knee, rather than this as my knee. I mean, it's up to you how you want the legs to be, I suppose. And I guess it's nice to have the option, but I prefer the articulation, right? I do wish that we had a waist, but I can forgive it and I understand why we kind of don't. Because there's a lot, yeah, there's a lot going on there, right? So I get it. A wrist also would have been nice, but considering that the guy can T-pose and considering he has a bicep swivel, I'm going to not complain about that at all. I like my Combiner Wars, but I've never been happy with his proportions, and I realize his massive limitations if you're talking about the stock one. With the Perfect Effect kit, or if you're talking Unite Warriors, yeah, okay, the arms are a bit better, but it still lacks the ability to T-pose, for example. And while there's a waist, it's such a heavy ratchet that it's hard to use. Same with the hips. They're such heavy ratchets, they're hard to use. Undoubtedly, this is an improvement, just in form, function, style, and overall look. Yeah, a strong start to the set. Very strong start to the set. You know that the score is a 9+ for sure. How will Hook fare? We're going to find that one out together in part 2. For now, however, I'm going to say thank you for dropping by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we have to offer to you through Spring, or of course, hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. While you are at it, hit the subscribe button, stick around, have some fun with us here on the channel, and don't forget, not for a moment, not for a second, that you right there, you do make a difference in the world. And I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams on Thursday nights, at the stop motion premieres, or the old-fashioned way right here inside the videos.